Welcome back to the Real Friends podcast. Our dear friend Dawson is back. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how are you? It's good to be back.
I'm great. I'm excited you're back. We are not, despite the last episode, us doing our Tarantino series, we're not continuing that tonight. We're doing something a little bit different. So, this is actually the first movie you ever reached out to me about recording. We've had this scheduled for a little while. So, talk a little about the movie and why this is the one you picked.
Yeah, so this movie is Good Time, um, with Robert Pattinson by the Safdie brothers. It's just one of those movies. I watched it, playing movie roulette just on HBO Max, and first time I think I was working on school or something, and I just loved it ever since.
And this is part of
One of
your
those
A20,
things.
part of your A24 series, right?
It is, yeah. It
Yeah.
is an A24 movie. It was one of the first ones I reviewed because spoiler alert, I give it a 10. Like it's one of my favorite like crime thrillers.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, yeah, awesome. Like you said, it's by the Safdie brothers, right? This came out in 2017. So this is kind of and we're gonna talk a lot about him. I know we talked about him a little at the end of our Reservoir Dogs episode, but we're gonna talk a lot about Robert Pattinson. And this is one of those movies that he's kind of in his like redemption arc, right? Like, trying to get out of the Twilight stigma, because just for him and for his co-lead in Twilight, Kristen Stewart, right? It is Kristen Stewart, right?
mm,
Is that her name?
yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. I was picturing Kristen
Yeah.
Bell in my head, but yeah, Kristen Stewart.
It's not that.
Yeah, it's not Kristen Bell at all. That those movies, while the books were so popular and those movies were huge young adult movies, they didn't really give Pattinson or Stewart any room to grow, any room to showcase what they were as actors. And I'm
No.
glad they're both Pattinson more so than Stewart for sure, but they're both getting the opportunity now to showcase what they can do. And I'm just going to spoil how I feel about this right now. We'll talk about Robert Pattinson and our top five for movie roles later. This might be his best role he's ever done. You would not
Mhm.
know this was Robert Pattinson, really, unless you knew the billing and things like that. Because Robert Pattinson is a beautiful man, and he is grungy and gross in this movie. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. I will say, yeah, my partner is like I remember um watching it for the first time. I had seen it and then they were watching it and they were like, "Oh my God, that's the sexy vampire."
Yeah, right? Yeah, you have no idea because yeah, I mean he's still like there's still parts about him that he's got that charm, but he also thinks he has a ton of charm, right? And he
Yeah.
thinks, we were just talking about it before we jumped on air, like he thinks he's this great Robin Hood guy who's doing all these
Yeah.
things. Like, in my opinion, the only redeemable part about his character is how much he loves his brother.
Yeah.
But you can look at it and be like, does he really love his brother, or does he like using his brother for what he's trying to do?
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
know. It doesn't make it clear to us, and I like that, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to go through a couple quick things, just background about these movies, right? So this is the first official film the Safdie brothers sent to Cannes, the Cannes Film Festival. So I think this
Mhm.
was their fourth or fifth film. I don't know. They've only done, I believe, Uncut Gems was after this. But other than that, they haven't made anything since. And now they're both going in different directions this year and directing movies by themselves. So we have The Smashing Machine coming out, the Dwayne The Rock Johnson UFC movie, which I may be my most anticipated movie left this year. I'm so
Yeah.
excited for that. I'm hoping The Rock can finally actually showcase that he's not a terrible actor. Um, I don't know. I'm obsessed with UFC, so the idea that we're gonna see, Mark Coleman and things like that, I'm stoked. Um,
Yeah.
and then, we also, I don't remember the name of it, but the other Safdie brothers teaming up with Timothy Chalamet to make a ping pong movie. And that comes out this year
Yeah.
too. So I'm pumped. I mean, I'm very excited. It's hilarious that we're reviewing this movie right now because Benny
Right.
Safdie plays his brother when Benny Safdie just played the antagonist in Happy Gilmore 2, which came out just a couple weeks ago. It's
Yeah.
very funny to see the dichotomy, and it's interesting, right? Because you look at the brothers Benny and Josh, right? Like Benny's like the attractive movie star looking guy. Josh looks like a director, right? And
Yeah.
they've kind of funneled themselves into that. And I think Benny Safdie in this role was awesome, and I don't know if he wrote the role for, or if Josh wrote the role for Benny. What I do know is that this role was written for Robert Pattinson. So Robert Pattinson
Yes.
went to the Safdie brothers and he said, "Hey, I don't care what it takes. I'll cater, I'll cook on your next movie. I just want to be a part of it." And Josh was like, "Well." He's like, Rob doesn't know how to cook. He's like, so we wrote this role for him. So that's he saw something in their other movies that he was like, they're so great. I want to be a part of it. And in my opinion, it was a great decision.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's just like this movie, I think it's so cool because they have the trifecta where it's like these two brothers can get it done whenever it comes to
Hmm.
directing and writing. And I feel like people don't really know who these guys are because if you go and tell someone like, I'm watching a movie by the Safdie brothers, like they're like, who are they? And
Yeah,
then you have to tell them, oh, Uncut Gems,
right.
Benny was in Oppenheimer, all of these things, but like these guys get it done. And Robert Pattinson, as we're gonna touch on this whole episode, this guy might be the best actor of like 2010 to 2025, like in the past 15 years.
Yeah, man. I mean,
He's up there.
he showcased it this year, right? Like it's not a perfect movie at all, but he was incredible in it in Mickey 17.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he playing two roles so differently and so well, like he was awesome. But yeah,
yeah.
we'll get full into ranking his movies later because I told you I don't quite have it down, but I think I do now. I think I have my top five Robert Pattinson roles. So
I'm still cooking up here, so
yeah, we'll do that at the end. But what I want to do, and I'm not sure if this is what's going to continue on Real Friends or how we're going to do it, but rather than going point by point with the movie, what I'd like to do, and since you picked it, and you're much more familiar with it than I am, I've only seen it the one and a half times. Go
right.
down through, tell us what the movie's about. Let's talk about some key scenes, and let's go down through, it, and then we'll talk about how we felt about it.
So the movie, just like the synopsis is what I would say the synopsis is the this guy with a mentally handicapped brother um takes him to a failed heist where the brother is arrested and he is fighting tooth and nail to get him out of this situation that he ultimately put him in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's great, and he uses his brother for the heist, right? And then his brother gets arrested. And
yeah.
then the whole rest of the movie is trying to figure out how to bail him out, and
Yeah.
I heard someone compare this movie to Collateral, which
Oh, okay.
for the reason of it's just one guy's it's a guy's one night that is absolutely horrendous.
Right.
Everything that could go bad goes bad.
And I'm sure you know this because we talk a bunch, but I'm a total letterboxed head.
Hmm.
I'm a huge, like my watch list is 100 movies long um, but my favorite letterboxd review probably ever is this movie's top review, which is, um, think about your worst panic attack. Now multiply it by 1,000. It's,
Yeah, that's so fitting, and
yeah.
so I want to talk about the very beginning of the movie a little bit where so we open with his brother, right? And I can't what was his brother's name? I know it's Benny Safdie, but what's the
Nick. It's
Nick?
Nick.
Yeah, Nick Nickus. That's right. Nicholas
Yeah.
Nickus is his name, which is
Yeah.
really funny. But yeah, he's either talking to a psychologist or a social worker or something, right? And the social worker is asking him all these questions. To me, and maybe it's just because I watched it so recently, this was very Blade Runner to me. In a room, being interrogated to open the movie like this, giving an idea of what he can and can't talk about, right?
Yeah.
And Benny Safdie, so one thing about me that I don't love and kind of turned me off at the beginning of this, but I came around to it. I don't love seeing people portraying mentally handicapped people in movies. Like
Yeah.
I've always thought it's a little degrading, you know, and I don't know if that's just because I grew up watching Tropic Thunder, where they make fun of the
Yeah.
dude for, you know, going
Right.
full R word, you know, but I don't love that. But I think it was important in this, because it tried, like I said, to give us a redeeming quality for Connie, for Robert Pattinson's character.
So my mom, not to go on like a huge tangent, but my mom is has always worked in special education.
Sure.
So my mom was a speech pathologist, which is like speech therapy. Um, and now she does full plans for kids in the school district. And I asked her about this after I watched this movie, and I was like, "What do you think about people portraying, like you were saying, people portraying mental illness?" And she said that it is important because if we don't have stories like this, you know what I mean, then people aren't, it's gonna be swept under the rug again.
Sure, it's
So
more
I
like an
think,
awareness thing. So yeah,
right,
if it's tastefully done, yeah,
correct,
that's good.
correct.
Sure.
Obviously, no Tropic Thunder, but like, I'll sit and watch Forrest Gump. You know what I mean? Like, I'll
Sure.
all of that. But yeah, it's totally about, and I think that this does do it very tastefully. Good time, I mean.
Yeah. Yep, 100%. Um, so yeah, let's kind of go down through and talk about like some high points in the movie for you, things like that, like you know what you really liked about it.
Okay. Starting at the very top, like in that scene, one of my favorite shots of cinema ever, like quick shot, is whenever Connie opens the door and it zooms into his face and it's all shaky. That is the coolest shot I've ever seen. Because it's like someone, it looks like, I don't know if it was done practically, but it looks like someone was like pushing the reel further. Like, you know what I mean? Like in the
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah,
So,
that's one thing about this movie that was a big thing for me is how it was shot, right?
mhm,
It's very close zoomed in shots of everyone's face all the time.
right.
And it's almost like they want us to feel trapped, I think, like trapped in these people's like emotions and how they're feeling and like, you know, just showing us how important what's going on is. But there's not like, you know, what I would compare these guys to is the Coen brothers with which how successful they are working together on films.
Sure.
But the way they shoot movies is completely different. The Coens are, you know, No Country for Old Men, these long drawn out shots that show everything, you know, these huge landscapes. And this is like grungy New York, look at everyone's face all the time and see what, you know, see how they're feeling.
Right. But I mean, that's one of the things, like, it looks like guerrilla filmmaking. I know it was a blockbuster. I know it had a million, however many millions it had, but like, it looks like it is guerrilla filmmaking. Like, if you told me that they did the 28 days later thing where they just like filmed on empty streets, like, I would believe you. You know what I mean?
Sure, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, that first shot, and it's there's nothing quite like it that I've ever seen. Something being like purposefully meant to be like shot into it with all the shake. And going to what you said, I think that the point of the camera work in this movie works with the point of the script, which is to never let you breathe.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you are never,
chaos.
yeah. Yeah, you're never able to catch your breath in this movie, it feels like.
Yeah, 100%. And Robert Pattinson talked a little bit about that in an interview, which, you know, that's how the Safdie brothers are on set. They're just chaos. They're like,
Yeah.
you know, the quote he said was, he's like, yeah, we'd be driving in a car, and he's like, and one of the Safdie brothers would be like, what if we just took the brakes out and saw what happens? Like, it's just pure chaos all the time.
Right.
And yeah, that really shows through in what they were, you know, showing on film.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, after that, I mean, and like we talked about it, is that we know this protagonist, and by the end of this movie, this protagonist, like, we know is the biggest, like, jerk, like the worst person ever. Like,
Yeah.
literally the worst person ever. He starts off as like And the first time I watched it, I fell for the trap, right? Like I fell for the trap and I was like, this guy loves his brother and he's gonna do whatever it takes to get him out. Um, but then the second time I watched it, I was like, why was the brother even there for the robbery?
Right.
You
And
know what I mean?
they tried to address that in the script because there's that moment between, Nick and Connie where he's like, "You were so great, I couldn't have done this without you," and all these things. And it's like, are you sure? Like what did he do? He just stood there and was uncomfortable in his mask. Like what else other than a scapegoat because you didn't try to save him, you left him. He fell and you just ran away.
Yeah, and I think that after my third watch, I picked up on a hint of dialogue in there, which is he says, "Now let's get to Virginia."
Yeah.
So I think that technically Nick was there just so they could like get
Get out
to get
immediately.
yeah, get out immediately. But either way, like he starts off and they get arrested and it is just like the worst feeling ever watching someone who has a disability like that being put in Rikers Island of all places.
Yeah.
That scene is just terrible. Um, the scene where he can't understand he's in prison and that other guys run this area, so he's getting pepper sprayed or bear sprayed, which is even worse, but like he's getting pepper sprayed, he's getting beat up and everything, which eventually puts him in the hospital.
Yeah, yeah, because he's in like the holding cell, right? And there's all those guys in there, and
Hmm.
a fight breaks out, and he's not even a part of it. There's
Hmm.
like 20 guys in there, and two dudes are fighting, and yeah, he calls it chemical bleach and sprays that in there, and
Yeah.
Nick had run through a door when he got caught, and his face is all cut up. So that was my
Yeah.
first thought, like, dude, that bleach is getting in those cuts, and that's annihilating him.
Yeah. It's like that like that's terrible for like that would be terrible for me. And now I'm thinking that this guy already has something else going on like that. And I'm like, that's just the worst thing ever. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
just the worst thing.
And
But
then, Connie talks about it a little. He's afraid that Nick's not going to survive the night. That's why he's
right.
so adamant about bailing him out. But it's really late at night. Like the idea of getting a judge to bail him out, like that comes into play later. And then, yeah, you said he goes to the hospital because he actually gets attacked and beaten up big time. Like he
Yeah.
has a dude over top him pummeling him. And yeah, that puts him into the hospital.
Yeah. And that's where like the second I think that because it's another crazy thing that this movie has like 16 really short acts. Like this movie
Yeah.
is just like one after another. Like that like there's not like act one, act two, act three. There's like this is happening to it's almost like Reservoir Dogs, right? Like
A little
it's
bit.
almost
Yeah.
like this is happening, which leads it to this, which leads it to that, or like Fight Club is another one that would do that. But like eventually, like after he gets the money, Connie goes to see like his girlfriend, and I didn't know I could hate someone more than I hate Connie, but she's there. Like she's the worst
Yeah.
because
And it almost
all
seems
she
like,
cares about
no, yeah, go ahead.
oh, because all she cares about after he got this money was about the vacation he was going to take her on.
Yeah.
And then he said that, and he told her a lie. He told her that he was at group therapy and got jumped. And he needs her credit card. Like these two people are just black holes. You know what I mean? Like they're just the
Yeah.
worst.
Well, to me, she's one of the biggest victims of the movie because she's just another person he uses to get what he wants. And it
Mhm.
seems like she's got something wrong too because she's probably his age, still living at home with her mom, right? Her mom clearly has the credit cards, right? Because that comes into play a factor later. It's
Right.
almost like she's a little incapable of being an adult, I guess.
Sure.
And so he's just taking advantage of that because she's someone that's interested in him.
Yeah, and it's like that's just what I perceive, right? Is like all she cares about. is, and I can see why you think she's like a victim like that. Because that's totally like I could see that. I just think that like it's New York, people live with their moms, stuff like that. I just think that she comes off as um being like, I just want to go on vacation with you now, or I want you to take me on vacation.
Yeah, she was a little like, did you see Superman?
Yes, I saw it yesterday actually.
Yeah, she reminds me of the girlfriend of Lex Luthor in Superman. Like like
With
all she
Jimmy?
cares about is
Yeah.
giving Jimmy whatever he wants so that they can go on a date. Like it's
Right.
very similar.
That's really funny. Yeah. Um it's like, and eventually, yeah, like he does manipulate her into having her go to the bail bond place to take out $10,000. Is
hmm
it 10,000 even?
Yeah,
It's some exorbitant amount of money.
yeah, because he owes it's I think what is it 30,000 or 25,000 for bail, and he got enough from the bank robbery, but the dye pack went off and ruined half the money. So yeah, he has to go get the rest of the money. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's $10,000 she's trying to put on a credit card to get him out.
Yeah, it's terrible. And even though like it is true that bail works that way, that they give it back to you, like 10,000 on your credit card is crazy. Like
Well,
it's
and
just
like I didn't even think about it till right now talking about it. She's not going to get it back because they're going to immediately leave for Virginia and he's not going to show up for his court date. So that bail money is then forfeit and she's not going to get any of it.
that's so true. I never thought about it that way, but yeah,
So that
that's
makes him even
exactly.
worse. Makes him an
Yeah.
even worse person.
Yeah, I mean, like I was telling you, and I'm gonna say it 1,000 times, Connie in this movie thinks that he is like Robin Hood. He thinks that he is this king of villain or king of thieves, where he thinks that he is this guy doing bad things for the right reason, good things for the right reason, or bad things for good reasons. Whenever he is just he is just the worst guy ever.
Yeah.
Like, and I keep saying that just to like egg into the next thing we talk about, but you could say that about the entire movie. Like, he is not redeemable at all.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you know, get into it, right? We want to give everyone a trigger warning for what we're about to talk about.
Yeah,
This was the worst thing he did in the entire film.
yeah. So, um, basically, how we get to this is Connie breaks Nick out of the hospital, and rides him on. He's all chained up and everything, and he's wrapped in a bandage, which is like important.
Yeah, his whole
But
face is covered. Yeah.
he takes him to like the shuttle bus for like wheelchair users, like disabled people. Um, and then he finds one of the people there on the bus and follows her home and asks if he can stay the night or use her phone, and that turns into stay in the night. And Connie ends up taking advantage of her 16-year-old granddaughter,
hmm
um, in an attempt to hide his uh like wanted poster on the TV. And like he does that in an attempt to, but he also would have done that even if not. Like he's such a bad person.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that Crystal is her name. She is the biggest victim of all this. She
Sure.
gets taken advantage of as like a young girl, right? Um, she gets her mom's or her grandma's car stolen. She gets abandoned out of nowhere, like by the amusement park eventually, like just abandoned.
And
Um,
basically
and then like
kidnapped.
Connie, yeah. Like it's just like she is Connie, and it's like Connie has no problem ruining this girl's life.
Yep.
And that's what makes him so deplorable, is that he has no issue with like ruining this young girl's life.
Yeah. Because he just doesn't care. He doesn't care about who he hurts. Like, at all. Which, yeah, I mean, we talk about all this. Robert Pattinson, though, he was on one, dude. Like, you believed everything he did that,
Yeah.
this is something he would do.
And I told you before we got on, because we were thinking about like put in like that trigger, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that scene where he does and nothing explicit is shown or anything, but like he kisses this girl, and I audibly groan every time that happens. Like I make a noise because I hate it so much. Like, and it's like because like that happens. You know what I mean? Like everything, this movie isn't like it's a crime thriller, and um like it stuff like this happens, I
Oh,
would
yeah.
assume.
Yeah.
At
I
least
mean,
little bits and pieces, not the exact story, but like the bits and pieces are all there. Failed robberies, um, chemical warfare and shit. Sorry, sorry,
yeah,
but
no, yeah, you're
um
good. Like, Josh Safdie talked about, like, when he was writing this, he said, I didn't base this on any other movies. He's like, I based this on real
yeah.
life, and it won't
Mhm.
surprise you, and maybe you know this already. It won't surprise you that he thinks the greatest piece of American television, unironically, is the show Cops. And
Yeah.
so you know that, like, he's seen like storylines like this on Cops, and that's where
Mhm.
he took this from.
Yeah. And that's what's like so heartbreaking about all of it is like, because spoiler alert, this movie doesn't have a happy ending. This movie is not a happy movie. Like it's just so sad to see everything falling apart throughout the entire movie. But yeah, like so after that, I think the next big part is I forget his name, but Lou wakes up. Or
Hmm.
Ray, what's his name? Ray,
Yeah,
who was
yeah,
another jail prisoner or like another inmate who was beat up, not beat up, but like who was in the hospital wrapped around that that Connie broke out instead of Nick,
yeah. He thought it
which
was
is
his
just
brother.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And it's just like every time, like I remember showing this to my partner, and every time something happened, they were just like, "Oh my God." Oh my God. Like so like whenever he wakes up and you're like, "That's not Nick." You're like, "Oh God." Like
yeah. Not
but
now. Yeah.
yeah.
But this is another person that Connie can use now because,
hmm
the guy that wakes up starts telling a story about how he had all this money and drugs like stored away at an amusement park. And so Connie's like, "Oh, perfect. I'll just use you and go take this money. And I'll go bail my brother out, right? Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't just let him go."
Yeah. He's like, "I'm gonna use you." And he also steals Crystal's grandma's car,
Yep.
which is like it's like everything that Connie uses in this movie to get what he wants is never his. It's never his money. It's never his car. It's never his jacket. Like even like whenever he steals the jacket, like it's never anything that he uses to get his own way. He always takes from someone else.
Yeah,
And
100%.
yeah, and it's just like so they get into this car and they drive to White Castle of all places. Which like as a Texan, I think I've been to White Castle once, and
Mm.
like I just saw that and I was like, I forgot that White Castles existed, but it was so aesthetic. Like White Castle, I don't know how to explain it, is the aesthetic of this movie. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
it's almost like for me, right? Growing up in Central PA, we didn't have a White Castle, right? I went to one, I think it was in Reading, on the way home from New York once, but everyone knows White Castle because of Harold and Kumar. Like,
Right.
that's like the big movie everyone knows now. I mean, White Castle cheeseburgers do kind of slap, dude. You can go to White Castle and buy a suitcase of cheeseburgers, and it's like 12 cheeseburgers, like mini sliders, and you can hammer those. But for a
Yeah.
long time, I'm pretty sure White Castle was also at movie theaters. Like that was like AMC and stuff would sell White Castle in concessions.
Oh,
But
the
I don't,
frozen ones?
yeah, but I don't know
Oh,
that they
okay.
do that anymore. But yeah,
But
it fits, right? It wouldn't have fit if they went to like a McDonald's or like a Burger King. Like
right?
White Castle fits.
Like that's like it would have been like the only other restaurant I could see them going to would be like a Dairy Queen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, or like a
I don't
or
know
like
how to ex
a like a Denny's, right? Because you
yeah,
don't
I
go.
don't know how to explain that, but like no one's
Yeah,
ever been to a Dairy Queen sober after
right.
like 12, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
after 12 o'clock, no one's been to a Dairy Queen or a White Castle sober. Like,
yeah. That's what we
so
talk.
it's like,
That's what we talk about with Denny's around here. We're like, you don't go to Denny's, you end up at Denny's, right? Like it's after a night out, you just end up at
right.
Denny's for some a grand slam breakfast at 2 in the morning.
Right, you just wake up with a Denny's receipt in your pocket. Like,
Yeah,
but it's like that with Whataburger over here. Whataburger you always end up getting
yeah.
somehow. Like
Yeah. When
but
I used to be in charge of all of our Texas branches at my last job. So anytime I went to Texas, it was always I had to stop at Bucky's and I had to go to Whataburger. Whataburger's not that good, but I was like I can't get it at home, you know? So I was like I gotta get it. And every time I'm disappointed, but every time I'm like I gotta get it. I gotta do
those are
it.
fighting words, man. Those are fighting words. Everyone, I hate it so much that like everyone is like, because you'll never know what it's like to like be, you'll never know what it's like to be like 12 beers deep, not knowing how you're gonna get home, and someone says, "You want to pull through Whataburger?" Like that is the moment of your life. But yeah, White Castle burgers. And I think that like we get to White Castle, and that's whenever we get Lou's story
Yep.
or Ray's story. It's either Lou or Ray. Is it
I
Ray?
can't remember. It's one
Okay.
of the two.
The
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, the guy.
I'll
We
look
get
it
his
up.
story. I'm so sorry. I feel like this podcast is going off the rails.
In the best possible way.
Like Whataburger, and then we can't remember a main character's name.
Yeah,
Like,
it's Ray. It is Ray.
okay, Ray. So this guy's story is basically he gets dropped off from prison that day, like in the bus with like 12 bucks in his pocket or whatever. And he goes to the liquor store whenever he's not supposed to be drinking. And he meets up with his friend and they start doing acid and they start selling acid. And then they end up in amusement parks for some reason. Like, and then the cops raid it. So they stash everything and leave. And that gives Connie this great idea of, I'm going to go find the acid, the bottle of acid, the Sprite bottle of
Yep.
acid.
Yep. And the important part is he's looking for that money too, right? Like they're
Mhm.
like, we can go together, you'll get the asset, I'll get the money or whatever. And they go to the amusement park, money's nowhere to be found. They
Right.
cannot find the money.
Right. And so Connie once again finds that bottle of acid and he gets to remake the terms.
Yep.
Like he thinks he's in charge of everything, so he gets to remake these terms. That's now we're gonna go and sell the bottle of acid back to your friend so I can have the money to bail out my brother.
Yep.
And then the security guard in this scene, I feel so bad for him because he's just doing his job. Like
He's
this
an
guy's just doing his job.
He's an overnight amusement park
Yeah.
like security guard. Like 100 out of 100 times, nothing happens unless it's like Five
Yeah.
Nights at Freddy's. But like,
Right.
nothing's going on. And then this one night, yeah, he's collateral damage for trying to get
Yeah.
this stuff.
And he's probably the second worst victim of all this. Like, not even
Sure.
Nick. Because after this, like, basically what happens is Connie knocks this guy out, like punches this guy out, um, breaks Lou out of like the zip ties that the security guard had him in, Ray.
Right.
I'm so sorry, man. Um, but and then he just free pours acid into this guy's mouth. And that's like chemical warfare. That's
Yeah.
like awful. Like to the point where this guy's wakes up and he can't even speak English. You know what I mean? Like by the time he wakes up, he can't. He's just like stuttering, like he's not even making words.
Yeah, and even worse than this, right? Like Connie sets him up as the bad guy. Like Connie steals his security outfit and presents it to the cops like, Ray or not Ray, but the security guard is the one that was snooping around and he gets
Yeah,
arrested.
yeah, and yeah, I mean, like, and I don't want to draw the parallel, but like, the guy definitely had a thick accent from somewhere. So this
Hmm.
guy is most likely like an immigrant who's just trying to do his best, like in this country, right? Like trying to live the American dream or whatnot. And Connie just mega doses him on acid, and like it's just the worst.
Yeah, yeah.
But then,
I'm assuming, I usually try to put a funny title for a lot of my episodes. This one's just going to be Good Time Review. Connie's a piece of shit. Like that's
yeah,
that's
right.
that's all we can say.
Connie's a piece of shit with Lunidor. But no, it's just, and then if that's not enough insult to injury for stealing his clothes like it's a Hitman game to like
I like that
to
parallel.
yeah. I mean it's exactly what happened. Like the dude even wakes up and he's just in his white shirt. But he steals, that's the first thing I thought of. But um he steals this guy's outfit. He steals this guy's um job pretty much by saying that he's the bad guy. He all of this stuff. And then they decide we're going to go break into his house. So they just drive over there, abandoning Crystal. So she has
Yeah.
to find her way home.
Which,
Um,
it's interesting this moment, right? Because the cops grab Crystal and bring her back. And this is like the big reveal that Connie is in the security guard outfit. Because then they're like, hey, is this the
mhm.
person that was wandering around? And Connie's like,
Yeah.
no, I've never seen her before. So, like, kind of getting her off the hook, almost like it's redeeming him. But we just saw what he did to the security
Yeah.
guard. Like,
Yeah, it's
you're not going to redeem this guy.
yeah, it's never like that shot, by the way, is cool as hell. Like I am a big proponent. I'm one of those guys who thinks that like whenever a character is smoking a cigarette, like it makes them look like 10 times cooler.
Yeah, it's
So
coming
like,
back in movies too, right? I mean, you and I
yeah,
grew up with Tarantino movies, and
right.
cool people in those are always smoking. Like Reservoir
Right.
Dogs, we already talked about. Like smoking in movies is coming back. Materialists, like
Right.
I can't remember the girl's name. Dakota Johnson looks super hot smoking a cigarette. Like it's coming back in movies.
Right. No, I just think, and it's just one of those things where every time it's kind of my running joke is whenever me and my partner are watching movies and someone's smoking a cigarette, I just say, cool as hell. Like, just because this, but he's doing the same thing. He's like aura farming in this like uniform, smoking a cigarette and everything. And it would be so cool if he was like a good dude or like the Robin Hood like archetype that he thinks he is, but he's just a bad person.
Yep.
So he's just doing that to like for purely aesthetic reasons.
Yep.
But they go to this guy's house and I don't know how the security guard manages to have this beautiful like balcony apartment.
To me, it felt like
But
he was the owner of the amusement park. Like, not that he's just a security
yeah,
guard, but he's the owner. Because that's an insane studio apartment in New York City. Like,
it is crazy.
yeah,
Like, especially in New York, like I was like, how is this even possible? Because not only that, Ray starts drinking a bottle of like I forget what it's called, but like super expensive cognac.
Yeah.
Like it's like just all of it. He has the big flat screen, all of it.
Yeah, no, it was an insane apartment. I'm glad you brought up that it was the security guards because in my watch through I missed that part. I was like, where are we? So it makes a lot more
Yeah,
sense for there, but it also doesn't make sense for there because he's an overnight security guard at an amusement park. How is he
right.
affording to live here?
Right. So then Connie also like the only good thing that I think he does in this movie is that he's chill with dogs. I'm a huge dog person. Like I'm a
Yeah.
huge dog person, so he just goes in there and he like, makes friends with the dog or whatever. They get into the apartment. They call up the friend about like acid selling it.
Your dog point is interesting, right? Because I have always believed that dogs can tell who good people are and who aren't, right? Like
Right.
I've always thought if a dog doesn't trust you, I don't trust you, right? And so
Really?
the dog, yeah, for sure. Like, and people that don't like dogs, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about you because they're the most lovable thing in the
Right.
world, right? So the
Right.
idea that the dog so quickly like loosened up to him and listened to him because I believe isn't it a pit bull? Like I think
So what's important to know is that he takes the jacket off and whenever he grabs the dog, he says, "Smell the coat, smell the coat, smell the coat."
yeah.
So maybe like, maybe the security guard is like a straight shot dude. You know what I mean? Like
That's
a solid
that's
dude.
fair. That's fair. Yeah, the
So
coat was it was just the smell. Yeah.
yeah. So that's how he got him. But that would be interesting. Like if it was a dog, I would have yeah, that's really interesting. I didn't think about that.
Because to me, what that says, and this is probably digging way too deep, is that he's actually a decent dude, just doing horrible things in a horrible circumstance. But I just think he's a piece of crap, Like,
Yeah, it's just he's the worst. Like I keep saying that, but he is just irredeemable, dude.
yeah,
Like I don't think that I could. I mean, like obviously, like if you had to rank someone from like obviously I'm not gonna compare him to like Hitler from like Inglorious Bastards or anything.
sure,
Like
sure.
like I'm not gonna cross that line, but like he is one of the worst, like maybe like I mean, yeah. He might be like worse than I don't know, he's on a spectrum and he's like on this end. Like he
Way,
is
way far,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to figure like someone that I was gonna be okay with making it like on such a short notice, but I wasn't.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
But basically this is like the tragic comedy of this all comes to an end where the guy Ray's like plug comes back, tries to buy the acid. Connie asks for an exorbitant cost of 15,000.
15,000. Yeah, and the
Yeah,
dude was
for a
offering
little
him
Sprite
one.
bottle. Yeah,
Yeah.
1,000. So he just came up with I know that he just pulled that out of his, like the 15,000 number because like he's never dealt with anything like that before.
Yep.
But that's like me trying to sell you a stick of gum for $100. You know what I mean? Like that's um so the guy's like, fine, I'll go to the bank. We'll get 15,000. And then he calls Ray and he says, the cops are here.
Hmm.
So they look out and Connie is like, I guess I'm gonna try and break out. Um, and he's like, okay. And eventually Connie gets caught, and Ray, I don't know why he did this, is crawling on the balcony and falls to his death from like the eighth story. I
Yep.
don't know why he got up on the balcony. I was like, maybe he's trying to like, get out and like see if there's an escape, but there isn't one. But
Yeah. I
that's
mean,
just like,
that's a big trope in movies with stuff like this is the idea that like I'm not going back to prison. I'll do
Right.
whatever I can to not go back to prison. So maybe that's part of what it was. But yeah,
Sure.
I mean, he's climbing outside. And yeah, he just tragically falls to his death, which is all Connie's fault, like
Yeah. Like, so
entirely.
what is Connie's body like? That's his like one kill, like one confirmed kill that like
Yeah,
Ray just wouldn't have died. You know what I mean? Like Ray wouldn't have died if he like if Connie wasn't in his life.
yeah.
So it's just like he has just ruined the lives of like eight people.
Yeah, nearly got his brother killed, got Ray killed, ruined the life of his girlfriend-ish, ruined the life of Crystal. Like this dude has just done
Ruined
terrible,
the life
terrible things.
of
The
I mean,
security
yeah, even
guard.
he I mean he almost killed Nick, but like after he Connie gets taken to jail, like Nick his life kind of sucks too because he's with their grandma who is like kind of hinted at being abusive, but we don't know if she is or not because Connie is the one implying it.
Yep.
And I don't feel safe trusting Connie.
You can't
Like
trust anything
that's
Connie says. Yeah.
that's how bad of a character that he not bad as in poorly written, but like bad as in morally bad that I can't even trust any dialogue that comes out of his mouth. So like anytime it's just him, I'm like, what else is happening? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
because I can't trust him to say anything.
Right.
But yeah, so that's good time. I mean, it's just I love it because you just can't breathe halfway like throughout the entire movie.
Yep.
Um, it's just it's my favorite crime thriller, I think. Like I think I said on your pot on the last Reservoir Dogs one, that that this is kind of evil Pulp Fiction aesthetically
Sure.
because like Pulp Fiction is like yellow and it's like always daytime and like it's a comedy and everything like that. And this movie is just like dark and blue and like
So
neon signs.
what this to me is if you took the scene with Vincent and Uma Thurman's character from Pulp Fiction and made that an entire feature-length film. That's what this is.
Yes.
Like the horrible
Yes.
night Vincent had where she
Yes.
overdoses, like that's this whole movie.
Right. That's a perfect parallel. I hadn't thought of it. I was just thinking like aesthetically, it's like the opposite of Pulp Fiction, but
Yeah.
like that's such a good like yeah.
Well, and that's what, to me, this is what that movie felt like, is this felt like an early 90s crime thriller, you know? And this came out in 2017. Like, this was bold to release in 2017 to have a
Yeah.
character who's not redeemable. Like, you just
Yeah.
don't really see that in film. And I have yet to see Uncut Gems. I'm working through, like, my Adam Sandler, like, not slapstick comedy, like, you know, like working through his filmography or whatever. But that's going to be the next one after this because yeah, I
Yeah.
when I first watched it, I was like, man, I don't know how I feel about this. And then I thought about it all day, right? Like while I was working, and then I watched some clips of it again. And no, I'm not. You said you're at a 10. I'm not at a 10, but I'm at a solid 8 with this. Like I
Yeah.
really really enjoyed this movie. I do think that
So,
I'd say if there's one critique I would have, it's pacing. You talked about it a little bit with the idea of it's kind of like 16 different scenes in one. To me, this is a movie in 3 acts that 2 out of the 3 are captivating and really, really good. I think the first 30 minutes of this movie might be perfect. Like, I couldn't think of anything else. And then when he gets to like the lady's house and he does the stuff with Crystal, like, to me, it really, really slows down because I'm sitting there thinking, what are we doing? Like, why are
right.
we doing what we're doing? Like, your whole goal is to get your brother out. Why are you doing this stuff to this girl? Why are we just sitting here? Like, if I'm oh my gosh, what is his name? What's Robert Pattinson? Connie. I was thinking
Connie.
Courtney. Connie. If I'm Connie, right, and I'm trying to get this money, I'm walking through the house and I'm trying to steal some jewelry. I'm trying to do different things. Like I'm not just sitting on the couch watching TV, right? So to me, it got pretty muddy there. But then from when Ray wakes up to the end is also perfect. So,
Yeah,
like that just middle part for me, I understand what we were doing because we were getting a lot of exposition and things like that, but it wasn't as good as the rest of the movie. And I feel like that's almost an unfair comparison for me to make because the rest of it's
yeah,
just so perfect.
for sure. Um, One thing, just like now that we're at the end of it, one thing I've been like t repeating to myself, so I know to say it here. Do you know Pete Davidson?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So one of my favorite things is that every time Pete Davidson does the circuit on late night, and every time he goes on Jimmy Fallon specifically, instead of plugging his news, like whatever he's in, he just plugs Good Time because he loves this movie
Really?
so much.
That makes so much sense. He's such a New York guy,
It's
right? Like,
so funny. Like, I just
did you?
think that's such a funny bit to do. To just
Yeah,
be
that
like, I don't want to plug my movie. I just want to talk about because they're like pretty good friends, I think.
okay, sure.
Yeah, I think they are.
Have you seen his movie that came out this year called The Home?
I have not yet. I kind of
So
missed that in the theater circuit, so I'm waiting for it to come to streaming.
nice. I loved it. I thought it was
Yeah.
one of the cooler. It's almost like a horror comedy a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of getting hate online, but I think we talk about this potentially being Robert Pattinson's best role. I think that far and away is Pete Davidson's best role he's ever done in a movie.
So I think so. This movie has a 10, and I don't throw a 10 around. I'm pretty liberal whenever it comes to my reviews. So like if something's like either a 6 or a 7, it's usually a 7, but something has to be a 10 to get a 10.
Yeah,
And
sure.
one of my 10 out of 10s is um The King of Staten Island.
Oh, I
I
mean that's his
love
like
that movie.
that's like his quintessential role. He was born to play that
I
role. Yeah.
love that movie so much because it's
It's
like
I have like the home like right here in terms of his performance and Staten Island are right there. They're right on.
it's just like it's one of those movies like there's one movie that'll just find you at a certain time in your life. That was my movie that I found. Like I was just getting into um watching movies for the first time, probably around the end of COVID
Sure.
or whatever. Me and my best friend, and he's always been a movie buff, so he's showing me like Fight Club. He's showing me, which is my favorite movie, Fight Club, Pulp Fiction, all like just doing the rounds, like running the circuit on the film bro movies.
Yeah.
And I remember like just finding King of Staten Island, like just on Paramount or something, and watching it. And I was like, this is my movie. Like this, I love this movie so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Well, we got to get your friend on the podcast then. We'll
yeah,
bring him on and talk about a movie. That'd be awesome.
yeah,
But
yeah.
cool. Yeah, that's good time. So, like we said, Dawson's got it at 10 out of 10. I'm at an 8 out of 10, but it's a strong 8. Like I don't know how I feel about rewatchability though. I don't know if this is a movie I would revisit because of the what he does to Crystal. But maybe I can just fast forward through that part because the rest of it's really, really good. Um,
Yeah.
but it's it
So
it's tough to rewatch something like that. But I'm gonna put you on the spot now. Well, not really put you on the spot because I did give you a heads up it was happening. But let's do it. Let's do Robert Pattinson. Give me your top 5 roles for him, and if you want me to go first, I can.
no, I think I got it. I think
Okay.
I got it. Give me Good Time as I think his number one, and then followed closely by The Batman, Bruce Wayne
Okay.
and The Batman,
Yep.
favorite comic book movie. Um,
It's amazing. I'm so excited for the second one.
Give me The Lighthouse and give me Mickey 17. And I don't know what. Sorry, hold on. I know those are my four.
Yeah, I have the same four. They're just not in the same order. Like I have this first, I've got the Lighthouse second, Batman third, and then yeah, I think Mickey 17 is fourth for me.
Oh,
My fifth one is, and I think we talked about that you haven't seen it, is The Devil All the Time is my fifth role or fifth one for him.
I gotcha. Oh, Tenet. Tenet.
Oh, I
I
actually haven't
forget who
seen
he
Tenet
was in
yet.
Tenet. I think I saw it on a plane, which I don't really
Okay.
count. I don't think I really count plane movies.
Yeah, no.
But
Planes are places for like TV shows or like comedies that you've seen, or watching, like if you're on a really long plane ride, watching The Lord of the Rings or something like that.
oh, for sure. Like I know that I always perpetually have the first two hangovers for planes and like car
Yeah,
rides
yeah,
because I could watch those over and over again.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I need to see Tenet. I haven't seen it yet.
but he does have the opportunity to knock it out of the park with the Odyssey next year.
I'm so unbelievably excited for that movie. And what a big month for Tom Holland and John Bernthal, man. They've got
Dude,
the Spider-Man 4 and they've got the Odyssey coming out within like weeks of each other.
dude, if we could get the panel, I would be more than willing to like fly over somewhere to like watch it in an IMAX with you guys in real time.
Oh, that would be so sick. Yeah, we'd have to find. I don't know where. I think the closest IMAX is like an hour and a half from me. So maybe I'll come to Texas. I've been meaning to come
Okay.
back to Texas. Maybe I'll come back.
You should. Houston area, we have a lot of museums in Houston do it. Like they'll just rent out. So like they did Oppenheimer in museums,
Oh, nice.
all of that stuff. Yeah. So like I said, if we get the panel, like could you imagine like the big group of us, like content creators seeing the biggest movie of 2026?
And then just do our immediate reactions. Go home and just do an
Yes,
immediate
dude.
reaction podcast. I think we could get some people
Dude,
out there. Like we could get Faith
dude, I
out
think we
there, you
could do
know?
it.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Let,
Faith would love it. Like
yeah.
just shout out to Blood and Popcorn. I don't know. I'm not trying to get too much on your podcast, but I think me and you are running like running the track pretty soon because we're gonna do Weapons and Nobody,
Yep.
and then we're also pretty soon gonna do Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Blood and Popcorn.
Yep.
So
The three of us are really running the show right now. It's great. I
it's
like it a lot. I'm
yeah.
glad I started this to just talk movies with my friends, and I've made such good friends with, you and Faith and, people like that through TikTok and through this. So
And we're
it's
even
awesome.
playing video games now, just shooting
Yeah.
the
I just Texas Chainsaw Massacre just finished downloading like an hour ago. So whenever we want to play it, let's get on to a stream.
let me know, man, because I'm on vacation this weekend because I'm going to Houston Horror.
Oh yeah, I
So
forgot that was this
so
weekend. Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to Houston Horror, so I'm gonna have some downtime because I'm pretty much just going to see the the films. I'm not really going for the sales floor.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's you gonna make any content, you think, for while
Yeah, I'm
you're
just gonna
there?
do outside. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do immediate like there's 20-minute breaks between each film. I think I'm just gonna go out there for as many films as I can watch,
Nice.
you know.
Yeah, well, the next podcast we're on, let's dive into it. Let's talk about, your experience there and some cool stuff you saw.
For sure. Yeah. Sorry, I just did a bunch of self-promotion, but
That's what this is for, like get people to see as much stuff as we can. So awesome.
no.
Well, hey, we're coming up on that hour mark. So yeah, this is good time. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think I'm good. I'm gonna be doing an immediate weapons video. Like I think I'm trying to get back into like street interviews outside of movies. I used to do
Sure.
that and I'm trying to get back into it. So be on the lookout for that. But
And then yeah,
if you
we're gonna do a full episode on weapons on here too then. So
yeah, man. And like I said, I just watched Nobody, so Nobody 2's coming out. So we're
my
having the show
buddy
with me.
my buddy put the first Nobody on a VHS tape for me, so I'm digging that out to watch it before I go see the second one.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty pumped up about it.
Have you watched it before?
Oh yeah, yeah, I've
Oh,
seen it
cool,
probably
cool,
probably 5 or 6 times. That movie's awesome.
cool. Cool.
So, but cool, yeah. Well, Dawson will be back very soon. But this has been the Real Friends podcast, and yeah, hey, we'll see you guys next time.